War.
I say we take off and nuke the entire site from orbit.
They called it just another sci-fi sequel until it changed the rules of blockbuster filmmaking. Aliens wasn't just terrifying on screen, it was chaos behind the scenes. Studio pressure, directorial clashes, a cast pushed to their physical and emotional limits in a war against unstoppable extraterrestrial creatures. What audiences saw was relentless suspense and jaw-dropping action, but the story behind the production is even stranger.
Pharaoh, do you copy?
Standing by.
Prep for dust-off. We're gonna need immediate evac.
Roger. On our way.
From brutal training regimens to life-threatening stunts and creative disputes that nearly derailed the film, Aliens became one of the most iconic sci-fi action movies of all time. How close did the cast come to walking off? Which stunts almost turned fatal? And what secrets are hidden in the shadows of the spaceship corridors and alien lairs?
Not me, man!
Yeah, you.
Hey, come on, quit messing around!
Don't move.
Come on.
Trust me.
Get ready to uncover 20 shocking truths about aliens. Twists, dangers, and behind-the-scenes revelations that even the most devoted fans might never have known. Shocking thing number 1. Sigourney Weaver's grueling training. Before stepping onto the colony, Sigourney Weaver transformed herself into a soldier. Cameron demanded realism. No stunt doubles for the combat scenes. For weeks, Weaver trained in full combat gear, lifting weapons, crawling through mud, and performing grueling stair runs to simulate the claustrophobic corridors of LV-426. But it wasn't just physical. She had to mentally prepare to carry the entire film as Ripley, facing relentless xenomorph attacks. Weaver developed blisters, bruises, and near exhaustion, yet she never complained. Every line, every scream, every precision shot she fired was born of this preparation. The intensity of her training allowed her to react naturally to practical effects and puppetry on set, making Ripley feel real, vulnerable, and heroic at the same time. Without this punishing regimen, the alien threat might never have felt as terrifying. Weaver didn't just play Ripley, she became Ripley, merging fear and courage into a single unforgettable performance that defines sci-fi cinema.
Oh, dear Lord Jesus, this ain't happening, man.
Sigourney Weaver became Ripley, turning grueling training into unforgettable, heart-pounding heroism. Shocking thing number 2. The xenomorph puppets were brutally heavy. The aliens weren't just CGI or costumes. They were puppets, animatronics, and grotesque sculptures designed by Stan Winston. Some weighed over 100 pounds and required multiple puppeteers to manipulate jaws, tails, and claws in tight, dark corridors. During filming, the crew often struggled to maneuver the creatures while keeping the timing perfect with actors' reactions. One xenomorph puppet collapsed mid-scene, crushing part of the set and nearly injuring a crew member. Despite the risk, these mechanical monsters allowed Cameron to capture terror frame by frame, blending practical horror with performance. Actors had to anticipate the alien's movement as though it were a living predator, latching on, striking, or retreating at the precise moment. The realism is why audiences still jump at the alien's first appearance. Every screech, every sudden lunge, every slick black detail on the creature's exoskeleton was painstakingly crafted and controlled by human hands. Aliens felt alive because it literally was.
6.
Can't be, that's inside the room.
It's reading right, man, look.
Well, you're not reading it right.
The aliens weren't just costumes. They were massive, intricate puppets brought to life by human hands. Their terrifying realism made every attack pulse with true danger. Shocking thing number 3. James Cameron's obsessive storyboarding. James Cameron didn't just direct, he micromanaged. Before filming, he created over 3,000 storyboards, mapping every shot with precision. Each alien attack, pulse rifle sequence, and corridor chase was choreographed down to the millisecond. This obsession drove the cast and crew to exhaustion, but it also guaranteed consistency in chaos. There was no improvisation for the xenomorph scenes. Every scare was engineered. Some actors claimed Cameron's intensity felt oppressive. He demanded perfection, even if it meant retakes for hours. Yet that rigor produced cinematic tension unmatched in modern sci-fi. By visualizing the film in meticulous detail, Cameron made sure every frame conveyed fear, danger, and claustrophobia. The aliens weren't just threats. They were a timed, relentless force of nature, captured exactly as he envisioned. Without this obsession, the film's pacing, suspense, and iconic battle sequences might have been lost in the murk of an ordinary sci-fi sequel.
Anywhere.
Are you finished?
James Cameron's obsession with detail pushed cast and crew to the limit, but every meticulously planned shot made the aliens' terror feel unstoppable and perfectly timed. Shocking thing number 4, real explosives. Nearly burned the set for authenticity. Cameron insisted on using real explosives during the colony's destruction sequences. The shockwaves, smoke, and debris created a tangible sense of chaos, but safety was constantly at risk. During one sequence, an explosion went off slightly early, sending flames toward set pieces and nearly igniting a corridor. Stunt coordinators leaped into action, extinguishing the flames while actors were pulled back seconds from danger. The result? Explosions that felt terrifyingly real, rattling the studio and keeping the cast on edge. Sigourney Weaver later said these moments made her performance more intense. Fear was genuine because the danger was real. Cameron thrived on this controlled chaos, insisting that the tension audiences would feel had to originate from the same risk the actors endured. It's why, even decades later, viewers sense the palpable threat behind every fireball, collapse, and alien ambush. The set itself became a character, volatile, unpredictable, and deadly. Cameron's real explosions made every scene feel genuinely deadly, heightening tension and fear. Shocking thing number 5. The alien queen almost got cut. The alien queen wasn't in the original script. Cameron added her after realizing the xenomorph swarm needed a terrifying centerpiece. But the studio balked. Costs skyrocketed. The animatronic queen was massive, requiring multiple puppeteers and months of construction. There were fears it would never work on camera, that it would look fake, or that the film would run over budget. During test shots, the Queen's movements were jerky, and some executives nearly demanded it be scrapped. Cameron refused. He spent weeks perfecting the mechanics, lighting, and angles, making her feel massive, agile, and alive. On set, actors reacted instinctively, terrified by her scale and presence. Without the Queen, Aliens would have been a swarm movie, but with her, it became a battle of epic scale, giving Ripley her ultimate adversary. The Queen cemented the sequel's place in sci-fi history as one of the most memorable monster showdowns ever filmed.
Ripley's last trip out, the artificial person malfunctioned.
Malfunctioned?
There were problems, and
The Alien Queen was added late, huge and costly, but became Ripley's ultimate nemesis. Shocking thing number 6, the power loader. Almost failed, Ripley's iconic showdown with the Alien Queen relied on the power loader, a towering exosuit designed for loading cargo. But on the first day of filming, the hydraulics malfunctioned. Sigourney Weaver was stuck mid-lift, her arms pinned, while crew members scrambled to free her. The rig was unpredictable, heavy, and nearly impossible to maneuver in tight sets. Cameron insisted that every movement be practical, no CGI to cheat the fight, which meant Weaver had to genuinely struggle against the alien in real time. Hours were spent rehearsing, testing, and adjusting the hydraulics so she could lift the Queen convincingly. The danger was real, but it created an authenticity that no green screen could replicate. On camera, Ripley's exhaustion, determination, and fear were palpable, because Weaver was actually battling an enormous mechanical beast. Today, the power loader sequence remains one of cinema's most thrilling man-versus-monster confrontations. Practical, tense, and physically punishing. Every shudder, clang, and desperate pull was earned through trial, sweat, and sheer determination. Without this painstaking effort, the climactic battle might have felt cartoonish rather than terrifyingly epic.
Do your thing, baby. Come on, Vasquez, let's get the hell out of here. Hudson here, AMB.
Ripley's fight with the alien queen was real. Weaver battled a malfunctioning power loader, making every struggle and lift genuinely intense. Shocking thing number 7. Alien birth scenes shocked everyone. The chest-burster scene is legendary, and it almost didn't make it past the first test screening. The animatronic alien, designed to burst from a human chest, had a mechanical glitch that caused it to jerk violently, accidentally splattering crew members with stage blood. Reactions were so extreme that some editors worried it would alienate audiences. Weaver's co-star, John Hurt, who originally portrayed the first victim in Alien, was consulted to ensure authenticity. Cameron refused to tone it down, arguing that fear and revulsion were necessary to capture the xenomorph's true horror. The puppeteers had to perform the birth repeatedly, hitting exact timings to match the actors' reactions. The result? Genuine terror on screen. The actors' screams were a mix of acting and startled instinct. The scene's shocking realism cemented Aliens as a horror-infused sci-fi masterpiece. It wasn't just a practical effect, it was a brutal marriage of mechanical ingenuity, choreography, and pure cinematic terror.
Come on!
That set the benchmark for creature horror forever. The chest-burster scene was pure terror. Mechanical glitches and precise puppeteering made the actors' screams a mix of acting and genuine shock. Shocking thing number 8. James Remar was replaced at the last minute. Paul Reiser wasn't the only actor under consideration for the Marine's role. James Remar was originally cast as Corporal Hicks, but studio concerns about chemistry and star power led to his abrupt replacement by Michael Biehn just weeks before filming. Recasting caused chaos. Scenes had to be reshot, costumes refitted, and rehearsals restarted from scratch. Cameron was under pressure to maintain continuity while ensuring that the new actor could deliver the blend of toughness, vulnerability, and leadership needed to support Weaver's Ripley. Biehn threw himself into the role, studying military movements, mastering firearms, and building camaraderie with the rest of the cast in record time. The decision was risky, but it paid off. Hicks became an iconic foil to Ripley, his presence balancing the film's intensity with grounded heroism. This behind-the-scenes shakeup shows how precarious casting can make or break a production, and how last-minute decisions can ripple into cinematic history.
5,
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
2, 1.
Michael Biehn replaced James Remar as Hicks just weeks before filming, triggering frantic reshoots and rehearsals. His rapid adaptation turned a risky recast into an iconic performance. Shocking thing number 9. The facehuggers were truly terrifying. The facehuggers weren't just props. They were engineered to provoke genuine fear in actors. Stan Winston's team created flexible models with articulated legs and realistic skin textures. On set, they were placed directly on actors' faces, requiring precise timing to avoid harm. During one rehearsal, a facehugger leapt unexpectedly, triggering panic and causing Weaver and co-stars to react instinctively. Cameron captured these unscripted reactions, blending fear and performance seamlessly. The crew even coated the puppets in a slippery gel to mimic alien skin, increasing unpredictability during manipulation. Actors had to learn to struggle convincingly while avoiding injury, which heightened tension. The realism of the facehugger scenes comes from this combination of mechanical engineering, human instinct, and clever cinematography. Audiences believe in the threat because the actors did too. The terror isn't simulated, it's earned through meticulous hands-on design. Every twitch, grasp, and landing of a facehugger was choreographed yet chaotic enough to keep everyone on edge. Facehuggers weren't just props, they leapt unpredictably, making actors react in real terror that Cameron captured on film. Shocking thing number 10. Michael Biehn nearly lost his voice. The scenes where Hicks commands the Marines while battling xenomorphs were brutally demanding. Biehn had to shout orders over explosions, gunfire, and mechanical effects, sometimes filming multiple takes back to back. By the third week of action sequences, his voice was hoarse and nearly gone. On one day, he could barely speak, forcing Cameron to film close-ups and reaction shots to preserve continuity. The pressure to maintain intensity was unrelenting, with dangerous pyrotechnics and claustrophobic sets adding to the physical strain. Biehn later admitted that he genuinely feared losing his voice permanently. Despite this, he delivered commanding, believable performances that amplified the Marines' tension and camaraderie. The exhaustion and raw energy translate directly to screen, making each firefight feel immediate and life-threatening. Without this perseverance, the military realism of the film, the bravery, fear, and stress of soldiers facing an alien onslaught would have felt hollow. His voice may have been strained, but it added another layer of authenticity to the terror and heroism unfolding on LV-426.
How many drops is this for you, Lieutenant?
Michael Biehn's hoarse voice from non-stop shouting made the Marines' battle feel brutally real. Shocking thing number 11. Sigourney Weaver broke her ankle on set. Filming the climactic scenes inside the alien hive was physically punishing. During a complicated stunt, Sigourney Weaver misstepped on a prop ledge, twisting her ankle severely. Pain shot through her leg, and crew members rushed to help. Instead of halting production, Cameron decided to keep her in the shot, incorporating the injury into Ripley's frantic movements. Weaver fought through swelling and bruising, performing many of the same stunts herself to maintain authenticity. Prosthetics and harnesses were adjusted to protect her, but the ankle never fully healed on set. Remarkably, the raw struggle added realism. Every stumble, grimace, and limping dash made Ripley's survival feel tangible. Her determination became a silent character in its own right, demonstrating the human vulnerability Cameron wanted to emphasize. By the end, her ankle was battered, but the performance was unforgettable, blending heroism, fear, and physical endurance. Weaver's sacrifice ensured Ripley's battle felt real, raw, and dangerous, proving that action credibility often comes at a genuine personal cost. Weaver twisted her ankle, but fought on. Every stumble made Ripley's struggle terrifyingly real. Shocking thing number 12. The Alien Queen was a team effort. The Alien Queen wasn't just one creature. It was a collaboration between animatronics, puppeteers, and full-scale models. Stan Winston's team designed a massive puppet, weighing over a ton for wide shots, while miniature versions allowed for quick movements. On set, multiple operators synchronized mechanical arms, jaws, and tail strikes, requiring precise choreography. The Queen's size and complexity created constant tension. It could crush props, block camera angles, and even tip over during rehearsals. Filming required extraordinary patience, with Weaver and Bean timing reactions perfectly to mechanical cues. Cameron insisted on minimal CGI, believing practical effects made the threat feel tangible. The result? Every frame of the Queen moving through the hive radiates menace. Crew members often described working alongside the Queen as terrifying, even when they knew it wasn't alive. Its sheer scale and lifelike movement created one of cinema's most memorable monsters. The Alien Queen's presence was a triumph of coordination, mechanical mastery, and artistic vision. Proof that collaboration can birth horror that still dominates screens decades later. The Alien Queen was a massive, synchronized puppet. Practical effects made her terrifyingly real on screen. Shocking thing number 13. The Marines were a real boot camp. Cameron wanted his Marines to feel like a real squadron, so he subjected the actors to a mini-military boot camp. They underwent weapons training, physical conditioning, and tactical drills before filming. Michael Biehn, Bill Paxton, and the rest learned how to handle firearms safely, maneuver through tight corridors, and react under stress. Cameron demanded authenticity, no fake fumbling or exaggerated movements. The training created an immediate bond between cast members, building camaraderie that translated on screen. Actors sweated through grueling exercises, often performing full runs of the hive sequences in armored suits under hot lights. The intensity wasn't just physical, it was psychological. Cameron pushed them to feel fear, urgency, and teamwork, resulting in performances that communicated competence and vulnerability simultaneously. The audience sees disciplined soldiers, but every shot reflects countless hours of preparation and exhaustion. The boot camp wasn't glamorous, it was brutal, but it ensured that every Marine felt like a real-life soldier facing an unimaginable threat, raising the stakes of the alien encounter and grounding the sci-fi spectacle in human believability.
I don't understand this. We have been here for 3.5 hours.
Cameron's boot camp forged real soldiers. Every move, fear, and teamwork moment on screen came from grueling training. Shocking thing number 14. The alien eggs were dangerous to handle. The eggs were more than creepy props. They were coated in a sticky, semi-toxic compound to look wet and organic. Handling them required gloves, careful positioning, and constant cleaning. One morning, during a scene rehearsal, a prop egg unexpectedly snapped, splattering the goo across Weaver and surrounding crew. Reactions were instinctive, screams echoed, and cameras captured authentic disgust and fear. The effect wasn't entirely planned, but Cameron decided to keep it, valuing raw reaction over control. The design team spent weeks perfecting textures and membranes, ensuring the eggs looked alive while remaining safe enough for repeated takes. Still, every shot was tense. Actors never knew if a leg would slip into slime or if the creature inside might spring at any moment. This unpredictability added realism and suspense. Watching Ripley confront the eggs feels genuinely unsettling because part of that horror was improvised, based on human instinct reacting to slippery, alien-like hazards. Cameron's choice to embrace these accidents heightened the stakes, making the alien ecosystem feel dangerous, tactile, and convincingly alive. The eggs were sticky, semi-toxic, and unpredictable. When one snapped, the actors' screams were real, giving the alien hive terrifying authenticity. Shocking thing number 15. The hive's smell was overpowering. The LV-426 hive set wasn't just visually revolting, it was physically oppressive. To create the fetid alien environment, the art department combined chemicals, decaying organic materials, and paint fumes. The smell was so potent that crew members often became dizzy, nauseated, or lightheaded during long takes. Sigourney Weaver described scenes where her gag reflex nearly kicked in mid-action, forcing her to focus entirely on character rather than instinct. Ventilation was minimal to preserve fog effects, exacerbating the oppressive atmosphere. Extras and crew wore masks off-camera, but the actors had to perform in full immersion. The sensory assault added realism. The audience can almost smell the rot, the damp, and the alien decay. Every cough, shiver, and grimace is grounded in the actual discomfort of the set. Cameron used this sensory manipulation deliberately, proving that physical realism isn't just visual, it's environmental. By exposing actors to the hive's repulsiveness, he ensured that the world of aliens felt fully alive, dangerous, and suffocatingly real, giving the film its signature claustrophobic horror. The LV-426 hive set was so foul, it made actors sick, adding real fear and claustrophobia to every scene. Shocking thing number 16. James Cameron rewrote. Scenes on the fly, Cameron was notorious for making last-minute changes on set, and Aliens was no exception. During filming, he often rewrote dialogue, blocking, and entire sequences in the middle of a take. One memorable instance involved Ripley and Newt's escape through the air ducts. Originally, Cameron had planned a slow, suspenseful crawl. On set, he decided to inject panic, terror, and urgency, having Weaver scream and struggle in ways that weren't scripted. The actors had to improvise, reacting to cues that often changed second by second. The result? Genuine fear and spontaneity that no rehearsal could replicate. Crew members described the experience as chaotic, but exhilarating. Everyone had to adapt instantly. Cameron's willingness to rewrite in real time created a dynamic, organic energy throughout the film. This approach not only intensified performances, but also kept the story alive, unpredictable, and fresh. Aliens benefits from this improvisation, giving the audience pulse-pounding suspense and raw emotion that might have been lost with a rigid shooting plan. Cameron's last-minute rewrites kept actors improvising, fueling raw, unpredictable fear on screen. Shocking thing number 17. The power loader scene. Almost ended in disaster. The climactic power loader battle with the alien queen nearly became a real-life accident. The mechanical exoskeleton was cumbersome, with limited visibility for being inside. During one take, the loader tipped dangerously while trying to lift the queen puppet, sending it scraping across the floor. Crew members screamed as the massive animatronic threatened to collapse entirely. Safety wires prevented serious injury, but the tension was palpable. Cameron insisted on multiple takes to capture the perfect angle, keeping actors and puppeteers on edge. Every lift, swing, and retreat had to be coordinated to the second. Bean's performance reflects genuine exertion and careful navigation, making Ripley's struggle feel visceral. The near accident added authenticity. Viewers sensed the weight, danger, and chaos of controlling the machine while battling a monstrous enemy. The scene's intensity owes as much to mechanical peril as acting skill, blending real-world risk with cinematic spectacle to produce one of the most memorable finales in sci-fi history.
Talk to me.
The power loader fight teetered on disaster, making every move feel dangerously real and unforgettable. Shocking thing number 18. Aliens' original ending was darker. Early drafts of Aliens ended far more bleakly. In the original concept, Ripley would fail to rescue Newt, and the alien queen would escape, leaving devastation in her wake. Cameron scrapped this for a more triumphant ending, but not without a debate with the studio. The darker version would have cemented Aliens as a nightmarish cautionary tale, amplifying horror over heroism. Test audiences, however, demanded a satisfying conclusion, tipping the scales toward Ripley's ingenuity and survival. While the released version is thrilling, the knowledge of what could have been adds a haunting layer. Fans and scholars speculate about the film's potential impact on the genre had the Queen escaped or Newt been lost. Cameron's decision shows the delicate balance between artistic vision and audience expectation. Sometimes even iconic endings are compromises, refined through negotiation, testing, and instinct. The version we know today is a masterclass in tension, pacing, and catharsis. But the ghost of the darker ending lingers in the imagination, reminding us how close Aliens came to being something far more horrifying.
Gotta go around!
Open the door! Kick! Break! We are leaving!
Early drafts had Ripley fail, and the Queen escape. Cameron's change gave us triumph, but the dark ending still lingers. Shocking thing number 19. Extras wore realistic alien suits. To heighten realism, many background aliens were actors in full-body suits, not just props or CGI. These suits were heavy, hot, and difficult to move in, often causing exhaustion or even heat stroke on long takes. Performers had limited visibility, and cameras captured their movements from strategic angles to maximize the creature's terror. One mistake, a stumble or mistimed motion, could ruin a shot, so coordination was critical. The suits had intricate details, textured skin, movable jaws, and realistic slime effects. The actors inside often improvised movements, crawling, lunging, or snapping in ways that made the aliens unpredictable and terrifying. This dedication added depth to the hive, turning background creatures into threatening presences rather than static set dressing. Cameron's insistence on practical effects over CGI ensured the alien ecosystem felt fully alive. Every hiss, scuttle, and strike was amplified by the performer's physical commitment, creating an immersive horror experience that still resonates. Aliens thrives on this tangible menace, proving the impact of human effort in creating cinematic monsters.
You sent them out there and you didn't even warn them. Why didn't you warn them, Burke?
Okay, look.
Background aliens were actors in heavy suits, moving unpredictably to make the hive feel alive and terrifying. Shocking thing number 20. Aliens is preserved in the National Film Registry. In 2003, Aliens received one of the highest honors in American cinema, preservation in the National Film Registry. The Library of Congress selects films deemed culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant, and Cameron's masterpiece earned a permanent place. This recognition acknowledges not just box office success or special effects innovation, but the film's enduring influence on storytelling, science fiction, and female-led action narratives. Ripley's character, the tension-filled pacing, the practical creature effects, and the visceral set designs all contributed to its lasting legacy. Preservation ensures that generations can experience the film as originally intended, studying its artistry, technical mastery, and thematic depth. Aliens isn't just entertainment. It's a cultural artifact, a benchmark for suspense and sci-fi horror. Cameron's vision, Weaver's performance, and Winston's groundbreaking effects are now officially enshrined in cinematic history. This honor cements Aliens as more than a sequel or blockbuster. It's a timeless piece of American film heritage, inspiring filmmakers, scientists, and fans for decades to come.
Bad call.
These people are dead, Burke! Don't you have any idea what you've done here?
In 2003, Aliens was added to the National Film Registry, cementing its legacy as a culturally and artistically iconic film. Aliens wasn't just a sci-fi sequel. It was a cinematic onslaught, redefining action, suspense, and what a blockbuster could dare to do. But behind the xenomorphs and pulse-pounding battles, the production faced hidden nightmares, grueling stunts, creative clashes, life-threatening sets, and choices that could have turned this iconic film into a cautionary tale. Maybe that's why Aliens still terrifies and thrills audiences today. Because it's more than monsters and laser fire. It's a story of ambition, endurance, and the razor-thin line between triumph and disaster. If this pulled back the curtain on a film you thought you knew, share your favorite shocking secret or behind-the-scenes moment in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more untold stories from the making of cinema's most legendary films. Remember, some truths are too shocking, too dangerous, or too extraordinary to stay hidden forever.